every single week. And it's the first show of the week. So on the long weekend, it lands on a Tuesday. Our friends at Kuby Renewable Energy. You can get a free quote on solar today, by the way, at kubyenergy.ca. They give us a chance to focus on a story or stories that have filled our buckets. Stories of people paying it forward. Stories of people going above and beyond with random acts of kindness. And oftentimes, a movement that occurs with small beginnings. It's a feature we call Positive Reflections. And in the spotlight today, the minute that I saw this tweet, I thought, I've got to share this with our Real Talkers. If you want to read along or if you want to learn more about this, if you want to share this with your friends, check out Richard Clark's profile on Twitter. He tweets at @rclarky. He says, a wee thread about a young boy and the tweet that got away. 3 weeks ago, my youngest, Gabriel, who's 12, came home upset. His love of woodwork was not deemed cool, nor was only having 6 followers on his Instagram. There's Gabriel doing an amazing job with these projects. 12 years old and 6 followers on Instagram. Richard says his dad, I was upset too. It's hard watching your kids battling with life, but what to do? Mom wasn't around, so Dad, the impulsive fool that he is, instead reached out to the lovely people on Twitter. Maybe he could persuade some of them to follow his son. So he did. He said, Twitter people, I don't know how many of you are on Instagram, but I'm looking for a favor. My 12-year-old loves woodwork, spends hours on his lathe making bowls, creating chopping boards, and he sells them to save up for a mountain bike. Now, Gabriel was aiming for 60 followers. He says that's the magic number in the teen world when your Instagram page is apparently no longer deemed an embarrassment. So he posted the tweet, and he got on with cooking tea. He, by the way, is on Instagram at Clarky_woodwork. Says Richard, but then something very odd happened. Followers started appearing slowly at first, but then in the hundreds, and finally his dad and son looked on in astonishment in their thousands, and by the time Gabriel went to bed, he had over 6,000 new followers, and when he woke up the next morning, he had 33,000, and it kept going, and by the end of the weekend, he had 250,000 and was overwhelmed by the tidal wave of kindness and support. But not only that, Gabriel had 20,000 orders for bowls and chopping boards, which he figured would take him 32 years to fulfill. And now the media was coming calling. He said it was a lot to take in for this wee lad of just 12 years old. And so, Gabriel was certain of one thing. He wanted to share the kindness. So instead of carving 20,000 bowls, he would carve just one, a special one, his bowl for Ukraine. And this 12-year-old and his dad set up a Just Giving page for the Save the Children's Ukraine appeal. And Gabriel set a target of £5,000, like $8,000 or so. The fundraiser would stay live until Easter, when one donor would be chosen at random to win this beautiful bowl for Ukraine. Within 24 hours of going live, says Richard, you wonderful, kind-hearted people blew our goal out of the water, donating over £50,000. The press even more excited, so Gabriel gave up a chunk of his holiday to run around doing interviews in the hope of raising even more funds. Says Richard, and so here we are. Together, we've raised tens of thousands of dollars. I'm not going to read the number he has on his tweet because I'm going to update it in just a second. Okay. Donations coming in from all over the world. The little story coming to a close, Richard says, but how it ends is up to you. It's your story. Certainly, we could all pat ourselves on the back for a job well done. Save the children, already enormously grateful for the very real difference this money would make. But what if there was another ending, Richard says? What if we threw caution to the wind, let go of our cynicism, and really went for it? What if we blew this silly tale of a small boy and his bowl out of the water for one last swing shot around the moon? He says we're all so tired of COVID and war and division. What if we came together in one big, generous, soppy, silly last hurrah and retweeted this and all chipped in to save the children? He says it's up to you, lovely people, as to whether lightning strikes a third time. Either way, a heartfelt thanks. You've already changed so many lives. And if you do want to follow a little lad making bowls and other things from wood, feel free to follow on Instagram, Clarky_woodwork. Well, check this out. This is the fundraising page at justgiving.com. Gabriel's Bowl for Ukraine has raised almost 5,000% of its goal.
Wow.
A total of £246,000. Johnny, that's more than $400,000.
Attaboy.
From the little 12-year-old that started this all with 6 Instagram followers. Now, if that's not reason for positive reflection, I don't know what is. Right? You can send us your stories for consideration of inclusion and positive reflections to talk@ryanjesperson.com. And a reminder, you can get your free quote on solar today by visiting kubyenergy.ca. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we're going to check in with Calgary's new poet laureate. This guy is a gem. And on Thursday, it's Earth Day. We'll also follow the stories making news, including updates from Ukraine and other things that demand real talk. Thanks for making time for us on this Tuesday. We'll talk to you soon.